The NFL. I mean, it just delivered again. That was insane. And we're going to talk all about the madness and the betting implications. But that was just, it was quite a crazy Sunday. I'm sure it was at Casa de Lombardi yesterday as well.
It was. And, it's so funny because, when you go through these games and you look at them and you think, oh, God, Bills up 27-10. I like Buffalo here. That's going to be an easy win. That's good. Okay, you got the ball back on the 1-yard line with 50 seconds to go. They don't have any timeouts. All we got to do is take a snap and advance it. Oh, that's an easy win. Not so fast. I mean, San Francisco, 2 for 5 in the red zone. Got them covering by 7. Not supposed to be an easy win. 2 for 5 and goal to go. Don't cover. I mean, it's kind of a very, very difficult Sunday to get your hand around, mind around, when those losses that you kind of think are going to be there, they just don't come to fruition. And, the wins you think are there and you're kind of counting on them, it's really unbelievable. I mean, this truly is, and Steven just put this in only 2 teams have won a game after turning the ball over on downs in goal-to-goal situations with under 2 minutes. That was 2022 Bucks versus the Rams, and yesterday. I mean, all they had to do, Patrick, was take the snap. I mean, this is worse than the miracle of the Meadowlands.
You had one job to do. The favorite 7-5 straight up, 6-6 ATS, of course. We've talked about it, dogs and unders. The total's tied at 6-6. We'll talk about Minnesota and their 33-30 win over Buffalo in overtime. Kind of for betting nerds, there was a wild middle situation with all the speculation created by Josh Allen and his injury. Remember, Michael, that was an 8.5 opener all the way down to 3, and then we settled in, what did we close, 5.5 or 5 with Allen actually playing. So let's start. The Vikings 8-1. They pulled off one of the most shocking wins of the NFL season, of course. Justin Jefferson, Patrick Peterson, 2 picks. I'm going to start at the end, and then we'll back up. What would you have done if you're McDermott? Do you take the snap? Do you go safety? Like, what do you do in that situation?
You can't take the safety. The safety cuts the 4-point lead to 2. Then you've got a punt from your own 20. And so, 2 first downs, you lose the game, right? Say they get a good return, you put yourself at peril. What you do is you tell Mitch Morse and you tell Josh Allen, get over there and take some snaps, guys. I know we haven't done this a lot, but let's just make sure we take snap exchange here on the sideline. It's just like we're getting a new quarterback in the game. Remember that it used to happen all the time. The quarterback get hurt, the center would come running over and snap the ball to the quarterback. Okay, that's what we should have done. I don't know if they did it. I didn't see it. I didn't see the game, nor could I tell. But all we have to do to win this game is just advance the ball. I can remember in Super Bowl 49 when Malcolm Butler made the play. My biggest fear was A, we weren't going to get the snap and we were going to get pushed back and we're going to give up a safety. Now, we hard counted and got Michael Bennett to jump off sides. Smart play by Belichick. He got him to hard count it. And so we got 5 yards breathing room so we could kneel it. See, you can't kneel it there. Which makes this as egregious as the miracle in the Meadowlands is the fact that not only did you turn it over, that you gave them a touchdown. And you had in the miracle of the Meadowlands, Joe Pisarcik pivoted and the ball got caught on Zonka's knee and it fumbled out and Herm picks it up. But that was because the play clock was only controlled by the referee. Nobody could see the play clock. Nobody could see the game clock. Now you can. Let's just get the snap and go forward. I think that, to me, is probably which made it the hardest part of the day. And now I got to listen to Russo tell me how, he was 0-2 yesterday, thank God. But if he wins tonight, I got to listen to him say how great he is. I mean, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to lose my mind.
You're going to lose your freaking mind. I just want to clarify one thing quickly for the bettors. Remember, Michael, we finish on Sundays an hour before kickoff. We go into Brent Musburger with Countdown to Kickoff. When you and I were here, it had dropped all the way Buffalo lane 5. I didn't bet it, so I didn't look. Close 6.5. So, Alan, think about the volatility of this market and think about the volatility of just these books. It ends up closing 6.5. You and I were getting reports Allen wasn't on the field. They were playing games. There was some big-time game playing and some positioning going on there with McDermott and the Bills.
Play back our answer when we heard that, when that news broke, right? When everybody was in a panic and that we said that this is just a charade. If you're dressing him to play, if you're dressing him to be the backup, he's playing. I mean, we knew this, right? So, they played their games. Look, they're up 27-10 in the game. You have the number one ranked defense in football. You got a team who's playing their second consecutive road game outside. You signed Von Miller for this situation. You want to extend the lead out, right? This is exactly what you wanted. You couldn't have asked for a better situation. You put pressure on the quarterback, you turn it over, you're up. So, okay, now you're up 27-17. You get a nice drive going down there, and in the fourth quarter, you decide to pass up points in the fourth quarter because somebody's been telling you in your ear that 13 isn't as good, that 10's just as good as 13. I don't know who says this, but that's what they say, right? And so with 4th and 2 with 10:42 to go in the game. Now, what we were talking about on Sunday about how many possessions are left, right? So to get beat in the game, Minnesota's got to have 2 possessions left to beat you by a point, but that also means you need to score again. If you take the 3 there and now you make it a 13-point game, Minnesota scores, you're up by 6, you got to score again.
Literally watching the game thinking, McDermott, congratulations, you're on the Lombardi list. You just passed it up. You just passed those 3 up.
It's funny. He's taken no accountability for 13 seconds in Kansas City. He's taken no accountability for passing the field goal. He takes no accountability for the missed snap. Like, I get that, but at some point you're overseeing a really good team and takes no accountability for not being able to stop Minnesota at any point. Like, I know Justin Jefferson's a great player. I get that, but at what point are we going to make sure that we double him? I mean, we can't walk out of that building with him having 16 targets, 10 catches, and almost 20 yards a catch. I mean, Diggs had 12 catches for 10 yards a catch.
Justin Jefferson, 10 passes caught, 193, a touchdown. One of those receptions on the 4th and 18 may very well go down as the greatest catch of the year. We know you all saw it. If you haven't, go check it out. Almost aided by the defender. How does the defender lose the ball in that situation to Jefferson? I didn't think it was that. That's the reason I didn't think the catch was better than some of the others, just because it almost seemed like he was gifted by the DB. The athleticism to stretch was incredible, and the focus was incredible. Okay, let's do this. Let's talk about a gambling perspective for the Vikings and the Bills. The Bills have now lost 2 straight. The Vikings come into this, and we'll start there with the Vikes. They come into this. This is for your buddy Will Hill. They come into this with no statement wins. They walk out with a miracle. Has anything changed? Your numbers were always a little bit more kind to the Vikings than the eyeball test, correct?
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Is that fair? Like because you were even saying the same thing. Like, I'm not overly impressed by watching the Vikings, but when you start plugging the numbers into your 18-point system, you were like, whoa, actually the Vikings we need to start paying attention to this team, correct?
Right. And you do. I mean, look, they have so many, I keep saying all the time is they have so many punts per play that they don't pass the eye test, but they make it. Like in this game, when we went into this game, we were talking about Minnesota's really good in 6 categories. They're in the top 12 and 6 more, and they're only in the bottom in 2, where Buffalo was in the top 7 and 12, only 3 in the yellow category, and they have no red. So, it was kind of an even matchup. And, but for me, I felt like Buffalo, I had the game at 7-09. Buffalo should have been favored. Now, that's with Josh Allen. I think that was the right number if they managed the game correctly. And then they don't get the break at the game, and, they can't. And then when the line got all the way down to 3.5, how do you not take Buffalo? Josh Allen's worth 5 points, 4 points. I get he's worth a lot. But, to me, it was a good play. That's why I took it on Russo. I thought it was at 3.5 on a Friday afternoon. It was a good play. Maybe he's going to play. Maybe he's not, And still, you figure you got the number 1 defense going against Minnesota outdoors on the road. But, the Dalvin Cook run really was the run that broke their back. 1 play, 81-yard drive. I mean, that's the killer. You can't, in the fourth quarter, 2 things you can't do in the fourth quarter when you're in a lead. You can't give up 1-play drives, A, and B, you can't turn the ball over. And Buffalo did both.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.